Have you ever wondered what it would be like if you could learn anything instantly? I'm Scott from Hello Operator, and today I'm going to show you how to do just that using Google Gemini and NotebookLM. Now, I'm based in Barcelona, and one of the things that's in the news lately here is this idea of shifting to a 4-day work week. In fact, Spain is trialing a pilot program right now. As a business owner and also as an employee, I want to know how this is going to impact me, impact productivity, well-being, happiness of employees, all that good stuff. But I don't really want to do all that research myself. I'm a busy guy, so I'm going to use an LLM or an AI, a large language model, to help me. And today we're going to use Gemini 2.5 Pro, which is Google's strongest, most powerful AI on the market. But you could just as easily use Deep Research on Anthropic's Claude or on ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, any one of the major models. But let's stick with Google here. Before I go off and do this prompt, I'm actually going to click Deep Research on the bottom here, and that's going to make sure that I have this little kind of PhD intern in a box doing my bidding for me. And what it's going to do is going to go off and scrape the entire web. Now, you know Google, I know Google, Gemini definitely knows Google, but it's very vast, very dense, very deep, lots and lots of information, websites, PDFs, data, a lot of information to scrape around this topic. So but before it goes off and does that, it's going to give me a research plan, and it needs me to approve that research plan so it doesn't go off in the wrong direction. So I have my little kind of research analysis plan here. Before it gets started, I have to approve kind of what it's going to do on my behalf. And I can always change this, I can edit that plan, but for today's purposes, let's go ahead and kick off that research. And you'll notice that it gets started right away. It starts scraping the web, and it's gonna show you in real time its thinking and what it's going through. You can click here, show thinking, and it will show you the websites that it's browsing, the information that it's gathering, and Google's vast, so this will take some time. Usually a deep research project will take 20, 30, 40 minutes, sometimes over an hour, depending on the topic and how intense the research plan was. But I did this, luckily for you, beforehand, and it comes back with a very, very in-depth report on the 4-day work week research and analysis. And you can see this is like a ton of content here. At the very bottom, you'll see all the different sources that it went through, all the different websites and papers that it referenced, even the papers that it saw that it didn't include in this report. See sources read, but not included in the report. Now, I don't want to read all that because that's actually a lot of work too. So I can actually kind of interact with this in different ways. I can listen to it, create a quiz, an infographic, even a web page. Here's what a web page would look like. It even gives you the code that you could publish this and make your own interactive UI to go through all that content it just created for you. But I'm going to show you something else. We're going to use a tool called NotebookLM. In order to do that, I need to export this as a Google Drive doc. So I do that, pops up like this, and I'm going to, not zoom in, download that as a PDF and throw it into this tool called NotebookLM. Now, if you're not familiar with NotebookLM or you've never played with it, it's a free tool by Google. It came out about a year ago, and it's super powerful. Let's create a new doc. We'll go ahead and pick that PDF up if I can find it. Too many images. 4-day work week, analysis. And I can, on the left-hand side, upload any sources I want. Not just one, but like there's millions and millions of lines of context we can add here. So I could do websites, PDFs, documents, even YouTube videos here. Throw that all into that kind of brain dump of information. And that becomes the sources. Now in the middle, I have the chat. The chat is like any sort of like ChatGPT experience. I can ask questions to it. I can kind of interact with all that content in a more conversational way. But what I really love about NotebookLM, and this is what makes it like the perfect study partner and tutor and guide for you if you're in school, university, doing a master's program, or you just like are curious about a topic and want to go down a rabbit hole about it, you can create slides, FAQs, any sort of like specific study information with a click of a button. And one of the coolest things about NotebookLM is you can actually generate your own AI podcast and listen to that information. Now that also takes a couple of minutes. So I think I did it beforehand. I did. Let's go ahead and listen to see what AI thinks in a podcast for this topic.
So imagine this, right? A world where working less actually makes you more productive.
Yeah, and healthier too.
Exactly. And even like boosts your company's bottom line. Mm-hmm. For years, that whole idea, it sounded kind of like a futuristic dream,
Totally. A bit sci-fi almost.
But what was, really just a fringe idea is rapidly transformed into something.
Now I can speed it up, I can slow it down, I can actually download it, throw it on my phone, listen to it on a run, or throw it, in the car or something like that. But they have interactive mode here, which actually lets me call into this podcast as if we're listening to it on the radio. It's in beta, it doesn't always work, but let's see if it works for us today.
So imagine this, right? A world where...
Oh wait, someone wants to join. Hey, go for it.
I'm based in Spain. How would the 4-day work week affect me as a business owner?
Oh, that's a fantastic question and super relevant, especially with what's happening in Spain.
Yeah, you're right at the forefront of some really interesting policy changes there.
As a business owner in Spain, you're looking at a few different angles, all quite impactful.
What's fascinating there is how proactive the Spanish government has been.
Right. They've essentially been driving the
Now, we won't go ahead and listen to that entire podcast right now, but you see the idea that you can take any information, distill it down into a super easy way to interact with it, whether it's listening to it on a podcast or going through study guides and FAQs and any sort of other, way to interface with that content using NotebookLM. Hope you found this interesting. Play around with it. Let me know what you think, and good luck.